Good morning, everybody. This is Mike Gibson. I am the Product Support Manager for Linvio. Today we're going to be going over sending online quotes and invoices with our Quotes and Invoices product. I want to thank everybody for attending. Like Corey said, if you have questions while we go through this, please feel free to put them in the question box. We'll try to get to as many as we can. Hopefully take about 15-20 minutes for the walkthrough, and then we'll have time for questions at the end. So a little bit about Quotes and Invoices, about what we're going to see here. The requirements to use Quotes and Invoices: obviously you need a Salesforce org. We support either Enterprise or Unlimited Edition. The payment gateway account, which would be PayPal, Authorize.net, RBS WorldPay, or eWay. PayPal and Authorize.net are by far, I think, are two most popular for that. PaymentConnect, which is our license managed app for doing online payments, and also through terminal inside of Salesforce. And the Quotes and Invoices add-on, which is a separate package that allows you to send online quotes through your opportunities. A little bit about us, the presenters. You heard from Corey. Corey is the operations manager here at Linvio, handles a lot of our project work and oversees the general day-to-day operations. And as mentioned, I'm the product support manager. A lot of you on this call probably have already heard from me. If you're a current customer, I probably more than likely did your install or walkthrough training. So some of this may look familiar if you're a Quotes and Invoices customer. So before we begin, there is actually a lot of ways to get help if you don't get the information you need from this webinar. Support cases is our #1 way. That will open a support case for you to log in, create a support case, and have us respond to you. YouTube is for product walkthroughs. We do demonstrations of the various products. Those are all free, of course. We also have product forums on Google, and those are, if you have a question that's kind of more related for a group to be able to get a lot of benefit out of, we put it up there. The online help section inside of linvio.com. We also have inline help. So if you're inside of Salesforce, there's 2 easy ways to get help. Click help for this page from any Linvio custom object, like a payment, or if you're a Linvio events or whatever customer. You can also look at the PaymentConnect admin screen. It's a live splash page and has the latest RSS help feed as well. So here we are on the opportunity screen. Again, we use opportunities just like standard Salesforce opportunities. You can have your own custom opportunities. These work with any type of opportunity. I'm going to go through a really pretty simple generic version of an opportunity because everybody's is a snowflake. Everybody's going to have their own layout and versions. The payment terminal and the PayPal recurring payment and the Okta recurring payment, these buttons are there for PaymentConnect if you want to make a payment yourself. You're going to have an online quote, but a customer calls up and they feel better giving you their credit card over the phone. You can do that. Quotes and Invoices is a little more advanced than that, lets you send the online version. So the first thing we're going to show you the amount. The amount is going to pull from the products. You can manually put an amount in as well, but for this one, if I scroll down really quickly, I have 2 of the Gen Watt gasolines that are $5 each, so obviously it's going to be a $10 total amount. The balance is going to show us $10. That will automatically update when they do finish their payment. The number of payments and the payments made, those will tally as well. So when we send this quote out, which we're going to do in a second, when they do make their payment, you will see that as a paid-off payment. This opportunity is for a one-time payment, but you can also set up recurring payment. You can set it up for using the total amount of the opportunity plus the recurring payments. If you just want to do recurring payments equal the total amount, a couple different options for that. Again, this is going to be for a simple one-time payment. You set a recurring amount, frequency, and a period, so $5 every month for 6 months, something like that. And then the subscription start date. Again, we're going to keep this as a really simple one-time transaction. You can publish it as a quote or an invoice. Just pick which one you want. Kind of semantics, whichever one you want to pick. This one I'm going to use as a quote, and the site quote expiration is necessary. It can be any time in the future. It can be 30 years from now if you really wanted it to be, but it needs to have some type of quote when a quote's going to expire, and that's pretty standard. Quote number and quote version, those are not required. You can put those in. You cannot put those in. If you want to have those auto-populated, you can do that as well. When the quote is approved, this one actually already was approved. I'm going to reapprove it because just to show you what's going on. When the quote is approved, it's going to have a timestamp on it. So you can see I did this right before the demo. There's also going to be an entry in the activity log to show you that an activity has been created. Again, I'll show you that in just a few minutes. The terms and conditions section. This you can populate with standard text if you want. We do also have a custom object called content items. What content items allow you to do is store pre-filled information for different products. Quotes and Invoices is the first product to use that. We do have some future products that are going to be using the content items as well, so you can auto-populate those across objects, which is kind of nice. I have two that have been saved. One of them is just my quote terms, legal mumbo jumbo. You can insert that. That'll insert the terms and conditions into here, so you don't have to manually type them and then save that. You can put as many different ones as you want. You can have as many of these as you want. That's just kind of a person-by-person basis. You don't have to have terms and conditions. If you want to keep it really clean, you can leave that blank. Most of the times, most people would like to have that. So now that this quote is ready to go, on the very top of the page, there's going to be a button for send invoice and send quote. Obviously, if it's published as a quote, you're going to send it as a quote. Published as invoice, you're going to send as an invoice. So I'm going to go ahead and send this one as a quote. It's going to take you to this the secondary page. What this is going to do is look through the opportunity, make sure you have a primary contact assigned, make sure you have an amount, make sure you have a contact, make sure you have products. Everything is ready to go. The system is going to check that for you to make sure that the quote is good before you ever even send it out. If there's any issues with that, you would see it here. Something would come up and it would say primary contact not assigned or something like that. So if you get to this page, you're good to go. We'll click continue. This is going to automatically set up the email template for you to send this out. This, by the way, is customizable. This is just our very simple version. Thank you for your continued interest. You can use your own branding in here. You can create whatever you want if you want to put a little more information. One of the things it's going to do is create this online quote link. This is the online quote page that people are going to see. What you're looking at inside the white box, that's Quotes and Invoices. That's the site quote approval landing page, which is part of the managed package, which is Quotes and Invoices. The gray here, where it says Acme, products, all that information, that's the site template. The site template can be configured and designed however you want. You can add your own images, your own CSS, backgrounds, however you want to handle that. I kept this really kind of simple so you could see the difference, but as people on this call know, if you already are Quotes and Invoices customers, you've already customized this. There's a lot of customization available for that. So the quote for Big Deal for You, that's the name of the quote. This pulls directly from the company info instead of Salesforce automatically. And then we saw the quote number and quote version. That's where those pull from. The offer valid, that's the site quote expiration. And then proposed by me, that's just my username, so it gets in dev. The information will automatically pull here from the billing contact and from the account shipping address. All that information will automatically pull from the primary contact. If you send this out, this is Chewbacca. But if he's going to send it out and R2D2 is going to be the one that actually is going to pay it, he can click the change billing contact info. What that'll do is he can put his own information in here, and he'll now become a new contact in your database if he's not already created, and make him the new primary contact on this quote. So for this one, I'm just going to leave it as Chewbacca. He's going to be my guy to go. Genoa Gasoline, these are the products that you've defined inside. Here's our terms and conditions, the quote expiration date. They do have to accept the terms and conditions, and they have to put their name in to be able to process and accept the quote and go to the Pay Online. When they click the Accept on Pay Online button, a couple of things are going to happen. They are going to get redirected to the checkout page to put their credit card or e-check information in. Back inside of Salesforce, we actually create what's called an in-process payment record. So they see there's an in-process payment record. It's going to stay in process until they actually finish this checkout. Put our credit card information in here. And you can see, by the way, we have what's called a gateway simulation mode. This allows you to run all your tests and all your quotes in gateway simulation mode, which simulates every transaction. So you can run them all without having to process actual credit cards if you don't want to. So put our credit card information in here. Click Submit Payment. When you do, that's going to gray that button out. They cannot make two payments at the same time. That will call over to your payment processor, Offnet, PayPal, whomever. Call over there. They will verify and charge the card or reply back. When we see this page, transaction completed, that means this transaction is good to go. They've now paid off this quote. So when I go back in to the opportunity itself and reload this just to double check, a couple of things are going to happen that has changed. The balance is going to drop to 0 because they paid off the entire thing. When the amount of payments made that are over here equal or exceed the total amount, which normally you would equal, you wouldn't exceed it, This paid off checkbox will automatically check. That's good for workflow. If you want to run a workflow, say I want to email, you know, whomever that this quote's been paid off, you can set the workflow to fire off of that checkbox, which is kind of handy. Also, by checking that box automatically, if they were to go back to that actual quote and try to repay that quote, it'll tell them the order's already been processed. The paid off checkbox prevents them from accidentally reloading this page and making a duplicate payment. So we go here, the quote is approved at 10:10 a.m. because that was 2 minutes ago. A couple different things happen. First of all, let me go down here. The activity history, we've logged an activity history task saying it's been accepted. It'll say who it accepted, well, who accepted it, which was me. And then the IP address will also get logged. So wherever they logged that acceptance from will get logged into your database as well. The payment is right here. The payment name is going to be the name of the opportunity, the payment date, the amount, all that. The transaction ID, if this is a simulated one, but if it was a transaction ID, that would be the same transaction ID if you went and ran a report in PayPal or authorized.net if you needed to look it up. The payment is a carbon copy of the payment over in your payment processor. So what you're looking at is a carbon copy of the one, in this case from authorized.net. If you needed to do a void or a refund, if any of you have sat in on the PaymentConnect webinar, you probably saw about void and refunds. We're going to leave this the way it is. It also will automatically relate to the account. So if I go to this account or this opportunity or this contact, the payment is automatically related to all those objects as soon as they pay it. We do have a payment log section. The log section is the raw data that we get back from the payment processor. This is what we use to build and update this payment record. So when we get this information back, if there's something we need to know more about or needs to update it to avoid it or refund it or something like that, the PaymentConnect system will actually do that for you. Whatever shopping cart items they bought, so in this case the Gen Watt gasoline, they bought 2 of them, that will also get related to this. So it will show who bought it, what opportunity is related to, the shopping cart items, and the payment amount. All that information is all available from any of those objects. As mentioned before, the help for this page link, if you do click that from any object like PaymentConnect, it will open up the inline PDF for the help documentation. So that's a quick walkthrough of it. Let's see if we have any questions so far that we need to get to. Somebody wanted to know about taxes. Yes, there is a section for tax. If I skip by that, I'm sorry. We do have a shipping and a tax field. You can populate those yourself if you have your own shipping amounts, if you have your own tax amount. You can automatically populate those. Let's see, so somebody had a question about, yes, you can pay it automatically. That's actually one of the first things I mentioned. If you do click the payment terminal button, when we click the payment terminal button, if they want to call up with a credit card instead, that will take you to the payment terminal. It'll automatically map the payment name in and the amount of the payment. This one's already been paid off, so we don't need to pay it again. This is PaymentConnect. This is standard PaymentConnect functionality. This will do the same thing as if they paid it online. Somebody wanted to know about the content items. Let me show you those really quickly. So content items are its own object. So a content item, I have a couple here, sample quote terms. The good news about content items is you can reuse them with multiple objects. So Quotes and Invoices uses them now. As I mentioned, we do have some future products that are going to be using those as well. You can have it go between the products. This is using HTML content, so the rich text editor, and if you have our other products like Events or Mini Store, you may recognize the HTML content editor. Works the exact same way. You can paste information in here from a Word doc. If you have pre-built HTML, you can click the source button, go back and forth between the two. So anyways, and you can have as many of those as you want, and you can create a category or assign them. So we have press release, job posting, executive bio. What we're choosing is these can be used for quote terms and invoice terms. So if you see when we're back on that opportunity, under here we have quote terms, legal mumbo jumbo, and invoice terms. You can use either one of them if you want to. Multiple payments. Okay, so yeah, so if somebody makes a payment, let's say they make this payment and you refund this. If you do refund this and you want to send the quote back out, what you need to do is just uncheck the paid off box. The paid off box will always check when it's automatically paid off. It will not auto uncheck. If you do change the billing contact, the primary contact in here, that's who's going to be the new primary contact on that opportunity. If his information's changed inside of Salesforce, it will reflect on the quote. If he goes to the quote and she goes to the quote and puts their new contact information in, this is where they'd have it. So I mentioned before, R2D2 is the new contact. He will show up as the new contact here, and he'll now be listed as the primary. Good question so far. A question about the site template. So yeah, this is a generic site template. What you're looking at is really generic. We actually do help with when you do your install, you can have us assist with setting up a site template for you. This is a really generic one. You can change the background and colors, make it match exactly what you want it to. And another question was about the URL. The URL, this is, well, it's going to look a little strange because that's my developer account. The ID that shows up here matches the ID inside of Salesforce. So that's where that string comes from that somebody wanted to know about. Okay, let's see. We have another question. Is there a way to create quotes from opportunities in batches? So if you create an opportunity, it's going to automatically create the information for you. So let me back up. If you create an opportunity, you have an amount on that opportunity, you have a primary contact. If you did it in a batch, every one of those is going to have a unique URL. So those, when you hit, as long as they're ready to go, you can have them created in batch, and then when you click the send quote button, it'll have the check to make sure that the quote's set up correctly, and then send that out based on that unique ID again, which I showed you as this ID equals blah, 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 blah. You want to do a data loader upload for opportunities? You know, for data loader questions, you may want to contact us if it's because that sounds like kind of unique what you're trying to do. I would suggest opening a support case with us, and I can turn you over to developer because they'd probably be a lot more versed in being able to do something like that. Open up a support case, and we'll hook you up with a developer. These are great questions, by the way, guys. That looks like it's it for the questions. I'll give it just a few minutes if anybody else has anything. Like I said, you do have a couple options if you have some questions about this or any other products. Last question I want to pose to you is other kind of webinars. Since we do have a good cross range of current and hopefully new customers or potential customers, if you do want to see a type of webinar, if there's something that has not been done, please contact Corey. He is C. Bowman, B-O-W-M-A-N, at linvio.com. Any requests you have for that, we can do future updates. This was because this was requested. That's why we did this one. So we always do listen to that.
Yeah, so in wrapping up, guys, I will be in contact with you guys to see what we can do better in the future and also other topics. So please feel free to contact me at your convenience. We'll be trying to do a webinar every month going forward because we have a lot of new things rolling out all the time, and most people are not aware of all the new bells and whistles that our product development team is adding. So I want to thank Michael and everybody who came on today and all your questions. Again, if you guys need any other questions asked, please shoot those emails over to me, and we can answer those questions for you guys. I think that will do it, though. Thanks, guys.